So I have been a little bit behind with my journaling setups, so I decided to do another really simple one for my September bullet journal. And this is just going to be a sort of metallic fall leaves theme. Very simple, but I think the metallic colors give it a little bit more sparkle and make it a little bit more interesting. Anyways, we're starting off with just a simple stencil like I normally do, and I'm just writing in the name of the month. And I'm also writing a quote on the right side, and this quote says, "September tries its best to have us forget summer." And I know it might not be the most cheerful quote, but I think that it really fits, at least for me, because summer is my favorite season. And September, well, is not my favorite month because it kind of spells the end of summer for me, but it's okay, it's still a lovely season and it does mark the beginning of fall, which has some very beautiful leaves, which is my theme for September. And here I am just doodling some very simple leafy shapes on the left side of the spread to decorate things a little bit, and I'm going to be doodling the same leafy shapes on the right side. And when I'm done doodling, now it's time to take out the metallic colors. And I actually really love this metallic watercolor palette, and luckily this journal can handle watercolors, so I could use it here to add that sparkle that I was talking about. And since every single color on that palette is actually sparkly, I'm using quite a few of them. I'm using a gold one and a copper one, and I will also be using this sort of brownish greenish color that is actually one of my favorites just because of its lovely duochrome effect that I haven't really seen that often. And after I finished coloring everything in, I'm just making things a little bit more interesting by adding some stems to the leaves. You can't see them that well, especially in the video, but you can see them sometimes when I move the page, and I think it just added a nice little extra detail to the spread to make things a little bit more interesting. Moving on to the habit tracker and mood tracker, and I went for a very simple mood tracker here, and I'm just using a few leafy doodles and adding some numbers into those doodles. So basically, whenever I color in just a certain area, it's going to indicate a specific mood. And I actually forgot to add a legend for this again, but you know, I'm going to go with the brightest color for the happiest mood and the darkest color for the saddest mood. So yeah, that's what my legend would have been. And for the habit tracker, I'm using my trusty calendar stamps as always, and these just make it so easy to set up a habit tracker, and I can't imagine going back to not using these, well, for that reason. And that is pretty much it for this spread at the moment, and moving on to the calendar spread. And I actually tend to mess up this spread a lot, but I think I didn't do that much here. Looking at the image now, I can't really see if I messed up anywhere, but I probably did somewhere. Anyways, I'm actually drawing my calendar with a copper gel pen just to make it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more fun, just because I went for a very simple setup and I wanted to make it a little bit more fun. Well, like that. But to kind of offset the copper color of the calendar, I'm just writing the days of the week in pure black. And of course I had to add a few doodles to the side to decorate the spread a little bit more. By the way, the reason there's some empty space on this spread and on some of the others is because I will be adding some washi tape later to decorate the spreads a little bit more and make things a little bit more interesting. And of course, for the doodles of this spread, I colored them in the same metallic colors I've been using for this entire setup. And moving on to the final spread, this is my tasks and review spread. And again, I wrote the headings at the top in pure black, not to kind of compete with the metallic leaves, and I added a few leafy doodles at the top to fill in some of the empty spaces, and just kind of randomly spaced them around the spread, just to make the spread a little bit more interesting and to make it a little bit more random looking. And then I yet again colored in all of the leaves with some metallic watercolors. And that was it for the doodling portion of this video. Now let me just show you how all of the spreads look like at the moment. If I was gonna leave them with only doodles, I probably would have added a few more here and there just to fill in some more empty spaces, but I knew that I was going to add some washi tape, so I didn't. Of course, if you don't plan to add washi tape, you can just fill in those spaces with some more doodles. And now moving on to the washi tape portion. And I actually added very little washi tape to the first spread, just because I was already pretty busy and pretty filled with doodles, so I didn't want to kind of interfere with that. So I just added a few pieces of fall themed washi tape and a little bit of gold washi tape just around the quote area, just to make it a little bit more fun. And then I added some more washi tape to my trackers, because those spreads definitely had a lot of empty space and they didn't really have any color because I didn't really use any colorful doodles on there, so I definitely wanted to add some color there as well. So again, I'm using that gold washi tape and a few different variations of fall washi tape just to add in that color and make the spreads a little bit more interesting. For the habit tracker portion, I decided to add those washi tapes to the bottom in particular because there was a lot of empty space there. And to the side, because again, there was some empty space there. And also to the top and a few other areas. I went a little overboard with washi tape, I think, on these spreads, but I still kind of like how they came out. And moving on to the calendar spread, I did mention that I was leaving empty space here specifically for washi tape, and here I am pretty much just filling that in at the bottom with some more fall themed washi tape as well as gold washi tape, and some fall washi tape and gold washi tape at the top. And I actually ran out of that fall washi tape that you see me using so far, so I had to get a different tape, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. I think both tapes work equally well, and I kind of enjoy finishing supplies, so that was kind of satisfying actually. I don't finish rolls of washi tape that often. And moving on to the final spread, I just added a few strips of thin washi tape under the headings just to underline those and make them more interesting, and then just a few strips of gold and fall themed washi tape just around the spread, again just to make things a little bit more interesting. And that was pretty much it for this entire setup. It was pretty simple, but it still took me a fairly large amount of time just because I had to wait for the paint to dry. But I really like how this came out, and it's definitely simpler than some of the themes I've done. And I really like how the metallic colors kind of look together, because I definitely have seen fall leaf spreads, but I haven't really seen them done in metallic colors, so I think that this makes it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more unique. Anyways, please let me know what you thought of this video and these spreads, and I hope that you are having a good fall so far, and I will see you in my next video. Be you, always. Bye!